books I read this week and what I thought about them. I had to go back and consult my Goodreads account because I have the memory of a goldfish. Here we go. First I read Storm and Fury and Rage and Ruin by Jennifer L. Armentrout. These were fun, but they were long. But if you like this book, and a spiceless version of this book, I'd give it a shot. I already pre-ordered the third. Then I read the regular and graphic novel version of Long Way Down. I enjoyed it a lot more the second time I read it. The graphic novel is absolutely beautiful, and it's on Kindle Unlimited. It's a yes from me to the people that told me to read this. Rude, but also good call. The author's note made me cry. Speaking of crying, I did a reread of Addie LaRue. Some people find it boring, I find it and I used my extra book of the month credits to get copies for my friends, so we can all be sad together. Then I read Citizen, which is a nice short little read. It's like 200 pages. It reminded me of a superhero-less version of Shatter Me, with a little bit of this one too. So if you like that, like Hunger Games dystopian type books, I think you'll really enjoy this. I think that's everything. That was not at all articulate.
What you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put that shit in slow motion. Yeah, I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. Ay, what you know about rolling down in the deep? When your brain goes numb, you can call that mental freeze. When these people talk too much, put that shit in slow motion. Yeah, I feel like an astronaut in the ocean. She say that I'm cool. I'm like, yeah, that's true.
There once was a ship that put to sea. The name of the ship was the Bully of Tea. The winds blew up her bow, dipped down on blow, my bully boys blow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
Hello. My tripod broke, so we're in a different location. My bookshelves are back here now. But let's talk about all the books that I read in March. The first book I read in March was No Exit by Taylor Adams. I listened to this on audio. It is a thriller. It is fantastic. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. I rated it 4 out of 5. I read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid with my book club. This is a BookTok favorite. It was so good. It did not let me down. I cried like a baby. And also with my book club, I read Legend Born by Tracy Dion. This was amazing. It's definitely one of my favorite YA books I've ever read. Listen to The Parable of the Sower on audio, and it is truly the most horrifying book I've ever read. It is such a realistic depiction of what the near future might look like. If you don't want to be scared out of your mind, don't read it. And then I thought I would lighten the mood with some fun manga, so I picked up The Promised Neverland Volume 1 and 2, and these were also super fucking dark and scary. And finally, I read Graceling by Kristen Kishore. This was so much fun. I flew through this book. I read it in like 2 days while I was on vacation. Yeah, highly recommend.
I should be over all the butterflies, but I'm into you. And baby, even on our worst nights, I'm into you.
But fuck romance stories that don't have a happy ending. I completely agree with that, which is why I want to come here again and tell everyone to please read romance books. There's a rule that if the book does not have a happily ever after, it's not part of the romance genre. Now, I know when you think of romance, you're probably just thinking tiny books, ugly covers, but the genre is so much more than that, and these books are really good. Seriously, historical romance is so good, and I highly suggest you give it a try. Now, if that's not your speed, there are so many other subgenres of romance with so many amazing authors and books, and you are destined to find one you love. I know it's not a movie, but it's the best place to go for a happily ever after, and hopefully Hollywood will notice that and start adapting more of them. I mean, look at how successful Bridgerton was.
Gonna be so fast that it might stop. Oh, it feels like my heart's gonna be so fast, gonna be so fast, gonna be so fast that it might stop. Hit my chest like kiss my.
That's some bullshit.
Lilo, we don't have time for this.
Leave me alone to die.
Today, I want to talk to you about all of the books that I read in March. There's a few. First, we have the latest Crave novel, which was just really fun. And then MJ Edwards came out with a new book. Gotta say, this was an interesting one. And then I read Chain of Iron, and that ending should be illegal. How are we supposed to wait for the next one? After that, I picked up Nemesis. If you want something spicy and addictive, this is your book. Then I reread The Betrothed to prepare myself for the sequel, The Betrayed. I will say The Betrayed was better than The Betrothed, but doesn't say much. Next up, I read The Roommate, which surprised me with how much I loved it. The premise is so fun, and this book is just adorable. Then came time to mentally prepare myself for my most anticipated release, Rule of Wolves. To do this, I reread the entire Horatio trilogy, which was fun. And I reread the Six of Crows duology, which you guys know how much I love. And yes, it still hurts. And speaking of pain, I finished the month by rereading King of Stars, and I cried.